All right, everybody, good evening. This is Shelbyville weather, and we are live due to a new severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued for a good majority of Bedford County and western, or a good majority of Coffee County as well. So I'm watching this this portion of the line coming into Shelbyville right now. Here is where the brunt of the storm is going to be, and there's likely going to be some hail falling here in central Shelbyville over the next couple minutes. We just got some peat and nickel sized hail on the west side of Shelbyville, so probably going to see maybe not severe hail, but still getting some pretty good sized hail here into the city of Shelbyville over the next couple moments here. And then we're also watching the threat for damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour. Let me grab my iPad real quick. All right, I want to be able to monitor y'all's comments and also check in with the Weather Service chat room every now and again just to make sure everything is good to go. So let me turn on the live stream here. Okay. No, I forgot. Hold on. I keep on thinking it's the opposite. Okay. Hopefully you're all able to see the radar picture a little bit better here in just a second. So again, we have a severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for central Bedford County and central Coffee County. This includes Manchester, Tullahoma, Shelbyville, Bell Buckle, Wartrace, Normandy, Flat Creek, Mount Herman, New Union, Beech Grove, pretty much everyone but Rover and Unionville and Hillsboro in Bedford and Coffee County are included here in this severe thunderstorm warning. So I'm going to zoom in here on Shelbyville in particular. Now, we don't have the EMA camera, unfortunately, but there is some pretty good-sized hail probably coming down here over central Bedford County right along the 231 corridor right now. Maybe nickel, maybe up to quarter-sized hail falling in central Bedford County right now. Now, at this time, I'm not seeing a direct tornado threat, but we're going to have to watch because these storms have been spinning like tops tonight, and I do not trust. I have trust issues with the storms this evening, so it's just something to keep in mind. But definitely the large hail threat is increasing for Wartrace, Normandy over the next few minutes, on top of the 60+ mile per hour wind threat with this storm here. So we're not getting a great look on velocity data. We're not getting a great look at how fast the winds might be blowing because of the radar angle from Huntsville. But right along where these greens and reds are, that's where the wind shift is going to be, and the winds will come out of the west, and we'll get those 60+ mile per hour gusts potentially over the next few minutes here in Bedford and Coffee County. So I'm going to open up the NWS chat just to make sure I'm not missing anything important, because we were watching a area of rotation where the NWS was a couple minutes ago. So yeah, I apologize for the post I made on Facebook a little bit, like 2 minutes before that severe thunderstorm warning came out. I made a post saying there weren't any warnings out. But obviously, like I was saying, these storms can pulse up very quickly, and that was definitely the case right as this storm was coming over Shelbyville. And here is where the worst of the storm is going to be. So right here on the eastern side of Shelbyville. This is where probably your, the worst of the hail is going to be as well. I'm going to push this down just a tad bit. So this is where the hail core is, and probably the worst of the winds too. And this is moving directly into Wartrace over the next 5 minutes or so, I would say. So if you are in Wartrace, you need to be seeking shelter in a substantial building at least. This is not a tornado warning. No tornado warnings at this time, so you don't have to take your tornado precautions. But just make sure you're in a sturdy building. You don't want to be in a car, when we're dealing with any sort of hail. Being in a car is never a good idea. So just keep that in mind. Shelbyville, you do not have to be, taking your tornado precautions, but you want to definitely make sure you're inside. I am going to take a look at the the velocity data here, because I am seeing a little bit of a notch showing up. I'll show that right on the eastern side of Shelbyville. This would be around Cooper Steel area, the high school, Learning Way, Harris Middle School, Titan, over on that side of town. On the east side of town, there's a little notch showing up in reflectivity. And looking at the velocity data to see the reds and greens kind of mix up together, there is a little bit, of a little bit of rotation there showing up on the eastern side of Shelbyville. But right now, I don't think it's enough to warrant a tornado warning, but that's something to keep in mind over the next couple minutes, especially between Wartrace and Normandy and over towards New Union and Manchester. So just a heads up about that. So I do want to quickly mention that there is not a warning in effect for Moore County at this time. This severe thunderstorm should stay north of Moore County altogether, but I am watching this storm over here from Mount Pleasant down to Laredo as it's moving off to the east, and this will likely impact even a good portion of southern Bedford County over the next 45 minutes to an hour. So even though we have this storm coming through right now, we do have more to get through later on this evening, and I'll circle the storm that I'm watching out behind the one that we have going through right now. So this is the other storm that I'm going to be watching as it slowly moves off to the east from Mount Pleasant down to Lawrenceburg, and this will be the storm that impacts Moore County more than likely, and potentially southern Bedford and Coffee, but we'll have to see how this severe thunderstorm kind of works over the environment here in as we get into Bedford and Coffee County. So this hook signature has gotten a little bit more defined over the past couple scans. Still not seeing any definite signs of an imminent tornado, but with the way these storms have acted tonight, I definitely wouldn't be surprised if it keeps on strengthening here, and we do have maybe a tornado warning come out here in just a little bit. But I'm just speculating on that end. I'm not sure if that'll end up happening or not, but that's something to keep in mind. So the worst of the storm right now is coming through the Deerfield area along State Route 53 in a northern Coffee County. It's coming through Beech Grove, Lakewood Park in northern Coffee County. Also about to enter Wartrace. And it just got done in Bell Buckle. Probably got some hail there in Bell Buckle too, from the looks on what I'm seeing over here on the radar. So, Shelbyville is getting through the worst of it right now as this continues to shift off to the east. And Flat Creek, Mount Herman are going to be up next, as well as Normandy and Courtner, Ross, Bottle Hollow. Y'all are going to be up next here for this severe thunderstorm. But I definitely think that the worst of the storm at this current moment is, let me get that off there. Okay. So the worst of the storm at this current moment is going to be this little area right here. So from Wartrace down to 41A, right where it crosses the Duck River, basically. And this is shifting off to the east towards Manchester, Normandy Lake. This is definitely where the most concern I'm seeing in this storm will be located, especially with that little appendage and potentially a little bit of rotation. I'm seeing here where the reds and the greens are close together right there. I've circled it on the screen there for you, so hopefully you can see it. But right now, there's not a tornado warning in effect, but I definitely think that's probably where the worst of the winds are going to be. Even if there's not a tornado, there's going to be some fairly high wind gusts, potentially up to 60 miles an hour. So there definitely could be a second round of Faith. So as I was mentioning just a minute ago, I'm watching this other severe thunderstorm that is located from Mount Pleasant down to Lawrenceburg, and this is moving off to the east. So this is more of a broken line. So I would really call this storm I've circled here to our west, round 1 for Moore County. But it will be round 2 of heavy rain, lightning, and the potential for some damaging wind gusts to the east across southern Bedford and Coffee County. So that would be round 2 on top of what we're seeing right now in Bedford and Coffee. But northern communities like Unionville, Rover, Deason, probably won't see, the second punch come through, but that, it's just something I'll have to keep an eye on, and I'm sure I'll be on here until that second one comes through, depending on how the warnings play out. So, the second round is going to be maybe 45 minutes at the most. So, going to sleep is based off your tolerance level. That's not something that I can tell you to do or not do. It just depends on what you want to do. So if you feel comfortable enough to go to sleep, then that's your call. But just know that there is a tornado watch in effect, and there is, there's some severe thunderstorms moving through right now. Shelbyville, you're done with this first storm. Still going to be watching the second storm here, but you were done with the first storm here in Shelbyville. So. Still nothing in the chat room about this little notch here. They're keeping a close eye on it. But here, I'll go ahead and circle. Basically, this is where the worst of the storm is going to be. Wartrace, you're getting some pretty good-sized hail right now. I wouldn't be surprised if it's up to quarters based off what I'm seeing here with the deep purples and maybe even some of the pinks there. Definitely getting probably some quarter-sized hail there in downtown Wartrace. So keep that in mind. If you're in Manchester, New Union, these storms are dropping a little bit of hail with them, even if they're not. The hailstones aren't technically severe. I don't know why. Did it? Oh, okay. I'd accidentally pressed paused on my phone, so I was very confused for a second what was going on there. So again, we have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for a good portion of Bedford and Coffee County. This severe thunderstorm warning goes for another 40 minutes. And also, I just got another alert for a severe thunderstorm warning. I'm not sure if that's New or old? Okay, they're just continuing the same severe thunderstorm warning. Okay. So, still looking at hail up to 1 inch. That would be the size of a quarter. And then wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour. And I'm going to zoom in here on Wartrace because these dark purples right here are probably where nickel quarter-sized hail is falling right now. Over downtown Wartrace down to Haley along Highway 64, Bugscuffle Road, going out Knob Creek Road, Highway 269. Going to be following pretty much right along 16th Model Road all the way to exit 105 off of I-24 north of Manchester as well. So just keep that in mind with the hail threat. And of course, the damaging wind threat is all encompassing for the severe thunderstorm warning. So everyone from New Union, Summitville, New Union down to Normandy Lake. And then, of course, we have that little notch there just outside of Wartrace. Where we are dealing with a little bit of rotation aloft, but nothing, nothing too concerning right now in terms of a tornado warning. But anyway, I got off on a tangent there, but Flat Creek is going to be getting in on the worst of the winds here in just a second. Normandy Lake down to Mount Herman. So it's kind of funny that the storm is following this path, but it does look like the worst of the storm is going to stay north of Moore County almost completely. So that's why there's not a warning in Moore County. That's why I haven't been talking about you right this minute, just because there's not a warning in effect. Your storm is going to be coming in over the next 45 minutes from Pulaski and Mount Pleasant. So if you're in Moore County, just stick with me for a little bit longer here, and we'll get to talk about you here later on. Hopefully not very much. Hopefully, the storm isn't bad enough where we have to talk about you much. But, that's just something to keep in mind there with that storm in the Pulaski area. So, I am looking at the comments here to see if there are any questions I can answer. Hail and Wartrace, thank you, Marie. Does anyone have any rough estimates on sizes of the hail in anywhere that we've seen hail? Wartrace is getting in on the worst of the hail right now, but if someone else is seeing some hail, please feel free to let me know. I may have missed a few too. Thank you for the stars, everybody. Bell buckle is clear from this particular storm, but I'm still watching the storm off to the west. I think it might go north of Bell Buckle or south of Bell Buckle, excuse me. But this storm off to the west is still something I'm keeping an eye on here. But this severe thunderstorm warned storm coming through Wartrace, Normandy, along the Highway 269 corridor right now down to Flat Creek is definitely what I'm most concerned with. It's coming into the busy corner of exit 105 area along I-24 as well. We're seeing heavy rainfall, gusty winds, potentially up to 60 miles per hour, and the potential for some quarter-sized hail. So this is about to completely enter Coffee County over the next few minutes. I'm going to switch over to the velocity data just to see if we're seeing any more rotation here, but I'm not seeing anything too alarming. There is, the reds and the greens close together. You hear that all the time on TV, but I'm not seeing anything too alarming, at least from the Huntsville radar site at this current moment. So that's something good, but still seeing 60 mile per hour wind gusts potentially and up to quarter-sized hail. Coming into Coffee County right now from Wartrace and Normandy. Hailing in Beech Grove, thank you very much for the report. Matt, I believe that the storms to our west will likely be, just run-of-the-mill severe thunderstorms, especially for Bedford and Coffee. Now, down in Moore County, they haven't had any rain yet today, so their atmosphere isn't quite as worked over. So there is a chance for a quick spin-up tornado, especially in Moore County with this second punch here. I can't rule one out. But I believe this will be mostly a damaging straight line wind threat for Bedford and Coffee County. There's a lot of reports of strong wind gusts in Spring Hill over the past couple minutes. It looks like there might be a little wake low forming behind the line. So the non-thunderstorm wind gusts might get pretty interesting here over the next little bit for everybody, potentially. Um, but again, we do have this severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for another 33 minutes here for um, eastern Bedford and a good majority of Coffee County. And this is where the worst of the storm is that I've been talking about. So potentially up to quarter-sized hail falling from around the Fairfield community along 64 east all the way down to Normandy. The potential is there for some quarter-sized hail and 60-plus mile-per-hour wind gusts, and this is moving off to the east towards New Union and Manchester over the next 5 to 10 minutes here. So I'll go ahead and put a storm tracker out on this particular cell, maybe. Well, hold on. Let me take that off. Okay. So this is the worst of the storm here. And this will be as it continues to move eastward. I didn't check and see how fast the storm is moving, but I think it's 45 miles an hour. Don't quote me on that. But here are, some communities that will get in on the worst of the storm here over the next little bit. So Royal Oaks, 13 minutes. Manchester, 14 minutes. Shady Acres, 14 minutes. Westwood Homes, 15 minutes. White Oaks, 15 minutes. Ragsdale, 18 minutes. Winton Town, 26 minutes. And Sainville in 26 minutes. So, and a total population of 12,000, if you were wondering. It's pretty cool that it that it has that on there. But anyway, they're also looking at probably some nickel quarter-sized hail falling around Deerfield at the intersection of State Route 53 and State Route 280 there in northern Coffee County. I do not think that this is particularly strong on the side of severe winds up there in northern Coffee County. I think the worst of the winds are definitely going to be along, in south of, say, of exit 105 over to Normandy Lake. That area is where the worst of the winds are going to be. I kind of outlined that area here in blue on the map. And this storm here is with the potential for 60 mile per hour wind gusts really extends all the way down to Flat Creek and Ross right now. You're not getting as heavy rain. The rain might not be as heavy down there in Ross and Flat Creek, but still could be dealing with some stronger wind gusts down that way. But I definitely think the strongest part of the storm here is between Normandy and just south of Beech Grove, Normandy to Noah, maybe I would say, and moving off to the east towards Manchester. Let me look here and see the exact how fast this is moving. Um, Sorry if I'm making you dizzy. I'm just trying to peek in here real quick. Okay, it's moving east at 30 miles an hour, not 45. So I was off. I was off by a little bit. Wishful thinking on my part for this to be moving that fast. But um, just got a report of a pea-sized hail in the Haley Roseville area. That's right outside of Normandy, just to the west of Normandy. So that's a good report, and that would coincide here with the darker purples that we're seeing on the radar just north of Courtner. So that would coincide well with that report. So I'm still watching this line over here to the west. The severe thunderstorm warning continues until 1:45 for the storms off to our west. There are not any warnings at this current moment for those storms, but I'm keeping a close eye on them to see what the Weather Service wants to do. I will note that the Huntsville National Weather Service has went ahead and put out a special weather statement, which is kind of like, one level below a severe thunderstorm warning for a good majority of Moore County. And this is for probably 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Yeah, wind gusts of 50 to 55 miles per hour. And that is for this, the second line that is fixing to move into Lincoln and Moore County. So the Huntsville office is wanting to do something a little bit different there and go with a special weather statement compared to a severe thunderstorm warning. So we'll have to see as this line or the second punch continues to move in from the west, how it evolves. But I'm not seeing anything too concerning outside of the straight line wind threat there with that with the second line. But let me go ahead and zoom back in here with the current severe thunderstorm warning that we have here moving into Manchester. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the velocity data just to see what we're looking at. The rotation that I was seeing a minute ago, the fairly weak rotation, should I say, that I was seeing a couple minutes ago has really broadened out, and I'm not seeing really any areas of rotation at this current moment, which is good news. But the worst of the winds here are going to be right where the greens and the reds meet. This is not necessarily rotation, that I'm denoting here, but this is really a wind shift where the strong winds coming out of the storm are pushing to the west. And then you have the reds, and that's going to be your winds, your surface winds out of the south, out ahead of the storms. But the worst of the winds now are coming across Normandy Lake right now, coming into Summitville, about to enter the city of Manchester. So if you're in Manchester, you're going to get in on, some heavy rain, frequent lightning, the potential for some 60-plus mile-per-hour wind gusts as well. And Tullahoma is not far behind. Your rainfall won't be as heavy as Manchester. Probably not going to see any hail either in Tullahoma. But, we definitely could see some stronger wind gusts there of 40 to potentially up to 60 miles an hour over the next 5 or 10 minutes here. I'm not seeing any definite signs of rotation in the Tullahoma area. Again, I want to reiterate that nobody is in the clear at this time because we do have this secondary line here moving in from the west. I've circled it yet again here. Lewisburg down to Cornersville, Pulaski, Columbia, and this is severe warned for 60-plus mile-per-hour wind gusts. And I definitely want to keep an eye on this as it moves in. It may not be severe warned when it gets here. It just really depends on how much of the atmosphere. Okay, so a new severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued for the second line that is about to move in. So We have two severe thunderstorm warnings now, one for the first line and then another one for the second line. So let me go ahead and jump on this second one real quick here. I know I'm not leaving you in the dust there in Coffee County, but I do want to talk about this new severe thunderstorm warning. So this new severe thunderstorm warning is for western Bedford County. So Rover is not included in this severe thunderstorm warning, but if you're in Unionville, Shelbyville, Wheel, Bedford, Pleasant Grove, El Bethel, Deason, Mount Herman, you were all included in this severe thunderstorm warning. Basically, if you live along and west of US 231 in Bedford County, you were under this new severe thunderstorm warning for this second line that is moving into Marshall County right now and eventually will be into Bedford. So this is why I didn't give anyone the clear, the all clear yet, because we did have this second line of storms here that I've been talking about over the last couple minutes. So another punch of potential for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-sized hail is coming for Bedford County. So there's a new severe thunderstorm warning here for western Bedford County, Wheel, Bedford, Unionville, El Bethel, Shelbyville, Deason, Mount Herman, Pleasant Grove. You were all included in this new severe thunderstorm warning for western Bedford County. So I know we just had one storm come through. This is a little odd. Just everything is acting a little crazy tonight. But, there's another severe thunderstorm that is moving in from the west. So just keep that in mind. Usually we can give the all clear after we get through one good little storm. But unfortunately, that is not the case tonight. So just keep that in mind. All right, so let me go back here to this severe thunderstorm warning in Coffee County, since it is impacting our area right now. So this severe thunderstorm warning again is or continues to be in effect for another 22 minutes. So this warning is for a good majority of Coffee County, including Summitville, Unionville, Manchester, Tullahoma, Normandy Lake is also included in this severe thunderstorm warning. So this is where the strongest wind gusts are going to be. There's a lot of heavy rain falling along State Route 53 and 55 going north of Manchester towards Summitville and Deerfield. But the worst of the winds and the potential for some quarter-sized hail is going to be right along the blue circle right here and moving off to the east. So Manchester, you maybe have 2 or 3 minutes here before the worst of the storm gets into your area. And I'd like to reiterate that I'm not seeing any definite signs of rotation right now. Still keeping a close eye on that portion of the radar just to make sure. But at this current moment, there are no tornado warnings in effect and no definite areas of rotation. So I do want to look at this Lewisburg camera just to see if it's picking up any of the the stronger wind gusts here. But it's not looking like we're seeing anything. Yeah, the last 60-second wind gust was 0.8 miles an hour, so not very impressive so far there in Lewisburg. But they're just now getting in. The worst of the winds are actually still a little bit off to their west. So we'll check back in on that camera here in just a little bit. So yes, Hillsboro is going to be getting this storm. You're not under the severe thunderstorm warning that the rest of Coffee County is under, but Hillsboro will still be getting the potential for some gusty winds here and heavy rainfall over the next couple minutes. I do not comment about school closings, delays, or anything like that. So, That's just something I don't do it when there's snow, and I'm definitely not going to do it, at 1:30 in the morning or 1:40 in the morning. I wouldn't be good at giving advice about that kind of stuff. I, d- I mean, Bedford County is still in school. I haven't heard anything different. I don't know why they would be out, but you know, I there's no reason for them to be out, as far as I'm aware. This event will be long gone by the time the school buses roll in the morning. So, um, I happen to agree with you there, Sean. But I mean, I understand people have concerns about school being out and stuff, but this is not the page to ask if school's going to be out. If I don't post it, then you're going to school, and that's how it's always been. Um, so it's hailing in New Union area right now. Thank you, Brittany, and that would coincide pretty well here with this area of purple that I'm seeing showing up here between I-24 and State Route 53 here, coming into New Union right now. P maybe up to quarter-sized hail. Probably not that big, but because I haven't seen any huge. I haven't seen any huge hail reports. It's mostly been P dime-sized hail, so that's good news. But we still have this severe thunderstorm warning in effect for mostly the potential for 60 plus mile per hour wind gusts. But again, some isolated quarter-sized hailstones can't be completely ruled out. But again, like I've been saying, the green that's showing up here is where the strongest wind gusts are as they move off to the east. So Hillsborough, Manchester, it's on top of you right now. The worst of the storm is with round one at least. The worst of the storm is on top of you right now. And Tullahoma and Hillsborough and Arnold Air Force Base, it'll be over you here in the next 10 minutes or so. Winchester, you are not under any warnings at this time. You still have a little bit of time to go here for Winchester. So I will say that there is a lot of moderate to heavy rainfall that is falling outside of really the two main areas of severe weather that I'm seeing. So I'm going to do a little bit of a illustration here, and hopefully this is centered up well where everyone can see it. Okay, it is. So in the blue circle are non-severe thunderstorms, just heavy rainfall, something we're used to here in March. But the purple here that I'm outlining, this is severe thunderstorm warning number 1. So you can't really see the 1. I'll put it down here. Maybe you can see that a little bit better. My logo might be taking that up. But that's severe thunderstorm warning number 1 impacting Manchester and Tullahoma over the next few minutes. And then this over here is a severe thunderstorm number 2. And it is coming through central Lewisburg and central Marshall County right now. And we have a severe thunderstorm warning that remains in effect for western Bedford County, Unionville, El Bethel, Deason, Shelbyville, Pleasant Grove, Wheel, Bedford, along and west of US 231. Severe thunderstorm number 2 is coming in here in the next couple minutes. So hopefully this illustration is a little helpful. So I realize my number 2, you can't really see it down there. I still have some stuff to figure out here with doing these live streams on my laptop. There's some pictures and stuff that don't quite fit in with the live stream software, but it's something I'll keep working on. Hailing in New Union, thank you, Mindy. So we still have that. We still have the severe thunderstorm over here in central Coffee County. I'm going to go ahead and change this to a different color that hopefully is better for everybody to see. I like this light blue color. I think that should show up well. So, this is the severe thunderstorm that continues to push through central Coffee County. Potentially some nickel-sized hail, New Union to Summitville over the next couple minutes here, and the potential for some 60-plus mile-per-hour wind gusts. I haven't seen very many reports of crazy wind, but I think that's interesting. I am going to look at the Huntsville radar site or the Huntsville chat room just to see if they're posting anything from Moore County. But I'm not seeing anything. Okay, so they say that they're watching the storm approaching Lincoln County, but is winking some, so we're going with the special weather statement, which I talked about a little bit ago. So there's no warnings for Moore County right now. So this is all the warnings are north of the county line here for Bedford and Coffee. So here is a new severe thunderstorm warning that has just come out for the rest of Coffee County. So this will include Hillsboro and Arnold Air Force Base, and Asbury right along State Route 127 there going up towards Viola. So there is that, the severe thunderstorm warning there, and that goes into Grundy County. And again, the potential for 60-plus mile-per-hour wind gusts remain, and maybe some up to quarter-sized hail, potentially moving through Hillsboro down to Arnold Air Force Base, Viola, and Asbury here over the next 15 to 20 minutes or so. Tullahoma is getting in on the worst of the storm right now. I will say it's not very impressive looking, and that's a good thing. But there still could be some 60-plus mile-per-hour wind gusts moving into Tullahoma there. So Shelbyville is not in the clear. Round 2 is knocking on your door, knocking on heaven's door. It's coming on down to Shelbyville here in the next couple minutes here. So, and this will be round 2. This will be round number 2 here for Shelbyville. So, I kind of circled where the worst of the winds are. Kind of hard to tell, but hopefully this, by circling it, is able to give you a little bit better clarity on where the worst of the winds are right now, coming across central Marshall County and moving into Bedford County over the next probably 30 minutes or so. Wheel, Unionville, and Pleasant Grove will be up first, as is usually the case with our severe weather events that move in from the west. They're usually always up first. They're the guinea pigs. Tell us how bad the storm is before it gets to Shelbyville. I am going to look and see how fast the winds blew in Marshall County, in Lewisburg with this severe thunderstorm warning. It looks like it only got up to 20 miles an hour, so not too bad. But definitely some heavy rainfall, and again, isolated pockets of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts will be possible here as this second severe thunderstorm warned storm moves through. So keep that in mind, please, over the next couple minutes. Now, after this storm clears, we'll be able to start giving all clears to everybody. But I do want to get through this second round just to make sure. I will say I don't think the tornado threat is all that great with this second storm that's about to move through. But the second round is moving east. The polygon that the National Weather Service in Nashville actually drew is a little bit northeast. But the storm in Coffee County is starting to starting to turn off towards the southeast instead of due east. And again, we can kind of see this loop here over the past couple minutes. Really started to ramp up as soon as it came over Shelbyville. And then it's been dropping, some small hail and the potential for some 60 plus mile per hour wind gusts for a good little bit now into Coffee County. So pea-sized hail has been reported between Summitville and New Union. I'll go ahead and stop this and zoom in down here. So the potential for some pea-sized hail here, the golf course there, just southeast of or southwest of Summitville along Highway 55, probably getting in on the worst of the storm right now. There's a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning occurring from New Union over to Summitville. The potential for some pea to nickel-sized hail potentially, not really enough to cause any damage. But if it's getting wind blown, by the potential for 60 plus mile per hour wind gusts, that could do a little bit of damage. So that's just something to keep in mind. The hail threat isn't all that great, but we're still seeing, a few pockets of pea to nickel sized hail as these storms push through. Moderate to heavy rainfall is pushing through Normandy down to Ross and over to Flat Creek right now. And this is out ahead of our second severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for western Bedford County. So the worst of the storm right now is about to enter Bedford County from the west. So heads up, Wheel and Bedford, Unionville, and Pleasant Grove. You are about to get in on the worst of the stormage here with storm number 2. I'll be honest, I'm not seeing anything too crazy with this second storm, but it is severe thunderstorm warned. So you want to make sure you're inside and away from windows at least. I'm looking at, it's kind of weird that the storm position is a little bit different. But I'm looking at it here on my radar scope on my iPad, and then of course the live stream here, and they're lined up fairly similar. So not sure why that would be occurring. There would be big differences there between mine and the WKRN weather apps radar, but it shouldn't be all that different. There is a lot of lightning. You can't really see it on this on this radar product for some reason, but a lot of lightning, cloud to ground lightning occurring. This is where the worst of the storm is, just northeast of Manchester, and right along the State Route 55 corridor going up into Morrison, Summitville. You're getting in on the worst of the storm right now, with the potential for some up to quarter-sized hail and 60 plus mile per hour wind gusts. That's definitely the strongest part of the storm that I'm seeing right now. Anywhere between storm number 1 and storm number 2, this is definitely the worst portion of any of those storms I'm seeing right now over Summitville. The radar is really in a horrible spot to be able to see how strong the winds are blowing. Not getting a good read on the velocity data, even from Nashville, not very good. So, there's a chance there could be some 60 plus mile per hour wind gusts here. It would be nice if I could go back to Huntsville now. I don't know why it's not letting me do that. Oh well, we'll stick with Nashville. And I'll try again here in a second. Maybe it'll decide to. Okay, there we go. it decided to cooperate with me. It just didn't want to do the velocity data out of Huntsville. So again, severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for pretty much all of Coffee County right now, for the potential for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and hail up to the size of nickels. They did go down on the hail size, so I was telling people that, up to quarter is possible, but I really think that it's probably nickel at the most. But this is moving off to the southeast. And Hillsboro will be in on this in just a minute. Tullahoma is finally getting a little bit of sprinkle action. This storm has just kind of teased you over the past little bit. I really doubt the storm is severe, reaching severe criteria in Tullahoma proper. The worst of the storm definitely is going to be up around Summitville, where I've been noting over the past couple minutes. Yeah, between New Union and Summitville is definitely where the worst of the storm is right now. A lot of cloud to ground lightning, but thankfully I'm not seeing any definite signs of rotation. This looks like, just a normal springtime severe thunderstorm to me. Not seeing anything too crazy, and no rotations. So that's good news. The second storm is about to hit. I'm just keeping an eye on the severe thunderstorm in Coffee County since it's currently pushing through. But I still am watching storm number 2 here. The severe thunderstorm warning is set to expire in 17 minutes. But I'm not seeing anything too impressive here with storm number 2. It's going to get a little windy. There's going to be some heavy rainfall and some cloud to ground lightning, and we'll stick with it here until the warnings all go away. But I am seeing some good signs here from the Huntsville radar site in terms of the storm strength. So and here's storm number 2 here. I'll circle it. It extends from Lincoln County all the way up towards Shelbyville and Unionville, and this is moving east. And right now it just looks like a heavy rain and lightning producer. I'm really not seeing anything more than that. Now, if you're seeing something different out there in the wheel in Bedford, please let me know. Manchester is clear from round number 1. Give me just a little bit longer for round number 2 here that is moving into western Bedford County. So I'll go ahead and circle this, the different storms we're having here. So this is storm number 1. Tullahoma and Manchester down to Hillsboro. And then storm number 2 is coming into western Bedford County right now. So Shelbyville is getting in on the heavy rainfall. Bethel's about to get in on the heavy rainfall. But I'm not seeing anything threatening. Not seeing anything overly threatening at this time, but I'm keeping a close eye on it here over the next couple minutes, as long as the severe thunderstorm warning is in effect. So I will note that the original severe thunderstorm warning for storm number 1 has expired, and that's because the storm has basically moved out of the warning area. So we still have this severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Coffee County, including Hillsboro and Arnold Air Force Base, and going up towards Monteagle Mountain in, straddling the line there between Marion and Grundy County there on I-24. Viola along State Route 127 there as well is included in this severe thunderstorm warning for storm number 1. And again, the biggest threat with storm number 1 is going to be damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour and small hail. And like I said, I haven't seen very I haven't seen very many pictures, or not very many pictures, but very many reports of wind damage, or the winds getting real gusty. So I really really don't think that we're seeing much in terms of wind. Um, Thunder near Hillsboro, thank you, Janine. Heavy rain, Bedford Will area, thank you, Miss Karen. Lightning, thunder, heavy rain in Hawthorne, thank you, Miss Ann. Lightning and thunder just started on 127 in Hillsboro, thank you, Mr. Ronald. Yeah, the worst of the storm here is about to come into Hillsboro. Um, I'm not really seeing much in the way of wind, but there's potential for maybe a quick 60 mile per hour wind gust. But these storms are mostly starting to die down, and I don't want to forget about my friends here in Moore County. I know it probably seems like I'm just leaving you all out of this here, but it's just because there hadn't really been anything threatening in Moore County, over the last little bit. The first storm kind of moved here north, and then this second storm is just really a heavy rain producer. Not really seeing much in the way of wind or tornadoes or anything like that with storm number 2. So I think it's just a good run-of-the-mill springtime heavy rainfall thunderstorm, for Moore County. And I really think that's all that this second storm is going to end up being. You could probably hear the thunder rolling in the background. Just give me a couple more minutes here. I want to see what they do with the severe thunderstorm warning. But I think that we're on a good track to get off of here at a decent time. So, or not really decent, but it's better than running until 4 a.m. Shelbyville is under a severe thunderstorm warning for another 12 minutes. And this is with storm number 2. So I'll draw this out again. So here is storm number 2. It'll be impacting a good majority of Bedford County and Coffee County, as well as Moore County over the next little bit. I do not think that this storm is really producing anything severe. Yeah. So the severe thunderstorm warning just got canceled for storm number 2. So that explains my, what I've been looking at on the radar here. That confirms what I've been looking at on the radar here, with this just being a heavy rainfall producer and lightning producer. So that's good news. It's very good news. So this is storm number 2. Heavy rainfall from basically Deason, Bell Buckle, Old Columbia Pike and 41A intersection and south, all the way in through Moore County. We'll be getting in on storm number 2. And then we still have storm number 1 here that is impacting Hillsboro. And this storm is kind of moving off to the southeast now, more southeasterly direction. But this is storm, my 2 can't be seen on that really annoys me. I'm going to draw my 2 up here, and maybe you can see it better. And I'm going to erase my 2 down here. I like how I have more illustration tools with the Radar Omega compared to the other one I was using. I really do like using this app for severe weather coverage. I just have some stuff to work out with the streaming software on my laptop. But so again, storm number 2, Shelbyville, Deason, Old Columbia Pike, 41A intersection and south. This is moving off to the east, getting some heavy rainfall in southern Bedford County right now. And, Moore County is going to get some fairly heavy rainfall over the next few minutes here too. But nothing severe. Nothing I'm seeing that's threatening. I really don't think this is going to be too bad. So, I'm going to go ahead and give the all clear for Bedford County. So, Bedford County is all clear, and you can head to bed if you need to go to bed. I know it's pretty early. Everybody has work tomorrow, so if you're in Bedford County, you were in the clear from this severe weather threat tonight. I was watching storm number 2. Just looks like a heavy rain producer. The severe thunderstorm warning has been canceled. Still some fairly heavy rainfall and a lot of lightning ongoing in Bedford County, but nothing severe. So Bedford County is in the clear. I'm still just waiting for, the little portion of the storm here that hasn't impacted extreme southeastern Coffee County to push on through here. I don't know why it always seems like this, but it always seems like the storm just slows down when it gets past Manchester, and it takes forever for it to get to Hillsboro and Arnold Air Force Base right there along the Franklin County line. I don't understand why that happens, but I find it kind of funny. And maybe there is some sciencey stuff behind it. I mean, I know that the plateau is not very far off to the east there, but it's interesting. Might have some research to come from that one day if it's anything good. But anyway, someone was asking about Woodbury, excuse me. Woodbury is in the clear, yes. Woodbury is good to go. Now, I will say there have been some reports of some strong wind gusts on the backside of this of the stormage. So, we could have some non-thunderstorm wind gusts, that just rattle the trailer or something. But I don't think it's going to, it's nothing to be concerned about if that even happens with the non-severe wind gusts behind the precipitation. So yeah, still waiting on these storms to get into Hillsboro. I mean, this is a 150. The storms are coming through Manchester, and it's 209, and the heavy rainfall hadn't even got to Manchester yet. It's puzzling to me, to say the least. But still having some heavy rainfall here in central Bedford County. But again, the severe weather threat has ended for Bedford County. And Coffee County, just stick with me here a couple more minutes, and we'll get through this. A lot of lightning, a lot of a lot of heavy rainfall, but not anything severe. Yes, this is the last round for Shelbyville. Yeah, I'm sure if you didn't get woken up by the first round, you're definitely getting woken up now in Shelbyville. There's a lot of lightning. But if you're just now joining, I did give the all clear for Bedford County from the severe weather threat, so you're safe to go back to bed. No warnings in effect. Anything like that. Warren County, severe thunderstorm warning from 70S and southward. So 60 plus mile per hour wind gusts will be possible. the leading edge of the storms are coming into Grundy County right now, so they should be out of the way here momentarily for Warren County. Hillsboro, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning, um, and along 127 there, all the way into Estill Springs, under a severe thunderstorm warning. Or Estill Springs is not under one, excuse me, but Coffee County side of 127 is under a severe thunderstorm warning. Um, I'm not seeing much on the radar, to be honest. The warning goes for another 33 minutes, so we'll see if they want to continue that or not. But yeah, the tornado watch remains in effect for Bedford County until 3 a.m. But the worst of the storms are over for Bedford County. Now we're getting a good storm right now, but I'm not seeing anything concerning. I am going to look and see the Huntsville radar is showing 35 to 40 mile per hour winds above the surface here coming into Flat Creek along 82 right now. Maybe some gusty winds there along the ridge tops, between Flat Creek and Ross. But I really don't think there's anything too concerning. Moore County, you're getting in on some heavy rainfall, and there is a special weather statement in effect for another 2 minutes, and that's I explained it earlier, but it's basically just a JV junior varsity severe thunderstorm warning. Just not quite good enough to make the team. The storm's not quite good enough to make it severe, but still getting some strong storms nonetheless. So I'm keeping a close eye on Moore County. I will have to say I don't know what this storm down here is planning on doing, but this could come, skirt maybe southern Moore County over the next hour or so. I'll keep an eye on that. But I might not be on, live the whole time. But I'll keep an eye on it. Just, to be on the safe side. Probably not going to give Moore County an all clear for a good little bit, just to be on the safe side with that other storm coming in. Because the storm that's moving through right now is storm number 1 for Moore County. So they could get in on storm number 2 here. So just looking at this radar loop, it looks like that there is a boundary that is set up right here. And, anything north of this boundary is basically rain-cooled air. So, it's all good up here. This takes way too much time to draw this out. All good up here, on the northern part. But south of there, their atmosphere is still untapped. And that's why there's, a few good-looking cells there in northern Alabama, south of Lawrenceburg, Florence over towards, northeastern Mississippi along Highway 72. Just a warning there if you ever travel on Highway 72 there in Mississippi. Those are the worst roads you will ever drive on. I have never in my life been on a road as bad as US 72 in northeastern Mississippi. Not that that pertains to anything I'm talking about, but just thought I'd share that. Maybe someone else has that same experience with Highway 72 over there in Mississippi. It's pretty rough. But anyway, I'm still watching this severe thunderstorm warning in southeastern Coffee County for Hillsboro and Arnold Air Force Base. It doesn't look that impressive to me, but the warning is still in effect here. So, and Coffee County is not in the clear yet because I'm still keeping an eye on this storm, and then of course we have this severe thunderstorm warning here for southeastern Coffee County, including Hillsboro. There is no tornado warning in Manchester. There never was one. Shelbyville is done for. You're just getting light to moderate rain now. Shelbyville is done for the rest of the night. All of Bedford County is in the clear. If you didn't hear me say that before, there's some strong storms here that are pushing along the TN or State Route 269 corridor from Wartrace down to Normandy and Tullahoma, but they're not severe and they don't look severe to me. So let me go here to the Nashville chat room. There's a lot of canceling going on. Not very much issuing with the severe thunderstorm warnings, so it's definitely not a bad thing. Bottle Hollow Road, heavy rain, thunder, and lightning. Thank you, Miss Nancy. Yes, y'all go to bed and have a good night. Brittany agrees about 72 in northeastern Mississippi, by the way. I'm not crazy. I know there's other people that think the same. Lots of lightning and thunder, pouring rain in Moore County. Thank you very much. Yeah, you're especially the northern part of Moore County. Smith's Chapel, 5 Points, over towards Chestnut Ridge along 231 there, getting in on some heavy rainfall and lightning, but nothing severe that I'm seeing at this time for Moore County, which is great news. Just a good springtime thunderstorm. Does anyone see anything in Hillsboro? Anyone seeing anything remotely interesting? If you're in Manchester, you're good to go. So if you are in Manchester, you are good to go. And basically everyone in Coffee County is. I'm just trying to ask around here to see if anyone has seen anything in Hillsboro. This warning is still in effect, but it's just not very impressive. Not really even hearing anything, nothing so far. It's quiet here. So those are my reports from Hillsboro. Wartrace, all of Bedford County is in the clear. You can go to bed. There's a fairly stout thunderstorm moving through, but it is not severe. So sometimes I give the all clears, a little bit earlier than most people would, but that's just because I'm not seeing anything worth mentioning. So, um, I feel like that I have the knowledge and the ability to give all clears at a decent time before the tornado watch is is lifted, and that might end up saving you 30 or 45 minutes worth of sleep, depending on how long it takes them to clear that tornado watch. So, if you're in Coffee County still, just stay with me a little bit longer here. But we're um, we're going to get through this fairly quickly. And for those of you in Moore County still watching this thunderstorm here over or just south of Lawrenceburg, um, I know y'all can't see that because I can barely see it on my screen. So here's the severe thunderstorm warning south of Lawrenceburg, and it is moving off to the east. And it might, depending on if it keeps its intensity, it might track towards southern southern Moore County, south of Lynchburg, pretty much south of the Highway 50 corridor. Just a little bit of Moore County there that's sandwiched in between Lincoln and Franklin. So just stay with me for a little bit longer, just to make sure that storm doesn't strengthen or anything crazy. But I'm not seeing much in our area right this minute. Heavy rain just started in Hillsboro. Thank you, Mr. Ronald. Southern tip of Coffee County, it keeps having waves of heavy rain. It just started pouring hard, lots of lightning. Yes, that would be storm number 2, moving in now. Not severe, but it's moving into Tullahoma and along the 269 corridor all the way up to War Trace right now. And pushing off to the east, so Noah, Manchester, New Union, and Summitville are going to be up next here for the heavy rainfall and lightning with storm number 2. Yeah, Tullahoma's getting in on the brunt of storm number 2 now with the heavy rainfall and lightning. Winchester, you are not in the clear yet. Still pretty untapped atmosphere. And this storm over here south of Lawrenceburg will definitely be tracking, towards your general vicinity over the next little bit. Hour and a half. So keep that in mind if you live in Franklin County. Only light rain in Bedford Wheel. Thank you, Miss Karen. Yeah, it's all clear in Bedford County from the severe weather threat. And I'm about to just give the all clear from Coffee County myself because this severe thunderstorm here in Hillsboro just doesn't look that impressive in my opinion. Yeah, there's nothing to be concerned about after this line goes through. The storms will be done for. Looks like there is a little bit of small hail showing up along Lindell Bell Road in around Normandy Lake. potentially some maybe pea-sized hail with this second storm here moving into Manchester along the Highway 55 corridor, but not severe. Still not seeing anything severe. But stick with me a little bit longer here in Coffee County. And again, Bedford County is in the clear. Bedford County is in the clear, and you're safe to go to bed. So, a new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued, not for our area, but for this severe thunderstorm here moving eastbound towards Pulaski. So this will be the storm that impacts Moore County if it does. I don't know if it'll maintain its strength, but we'll just have to wait and see here. I might take a little break, leave this on, leave the live stream going, but take a little break here and just let that storm to the south do its stuff. And if it gets close to Moore County and there's a severe thunderstorm warning that's issued, then I'll hop back on and talk about it for the folks there in Moore County. But I don't think there's anything to be too concerned about with, especially if you're in Smith's Chapel, 5 Points, around Motlow, over Chestnut Ridge, in along 231. Don't think there's that big of a threat of severe weather the rest of the evening. This is going to be mainly along and south of Highway 50 in Moore County. The third line will not hit Tullahoma. It'll stay south of Tullahoma. And this will also, this third line, I guess we'll call it, is going to be moving eastbound towards Franklin County. So I know I have a lot of people that tune in from Franklin County. So, like I've been saying, you're definitely not in the clear yet if you're in Franklin County, because, we still have this storm to get through here over, it's just south of Lawrenceburg, and it'll be moving into Pulaski here shortly. How long until it gets to Moore County? Let's actually do a tracker on it here, and we'll look at it. So it's moving east at 40 miles an hour. So we'll take this out from the center of the storm here. I always choose the wrong one. Looking out from the center of the storm. Now this is, the track I have on it here is not crazy, not crazy accurate, especially with how far it fans out to the north and to the south. But, that's just trying to keep all the communities that need to be listed included here. So, Boones Hill, 39 minutes, Taft, 42 minutes, let's see, Fayetteville, 54 minutes, Lincoln, 60 minutes, Kelso, 62 minutes, Crystal Springs, 63 minutes, Lynchburg, 73 minutes. So we still have a little bit, to go before it gets into Moore County. Elora, 72 minutes. I'm trying to look through here and see if I see any other communities from Moore County. I've tried to, go through this list slowly, so maybe if I'm missing one, you'll be able to point one out here. But the main one, it has Lynchburg at 72 minutes. I think it'll miss Lynchburg to the south. But, that's remains to be seen. And the Weather Service has canceled the severe thunderstorm warning for Coffee County. So now I can give everyone in Coffee County the all clear from the severe weather threat this evening, or this morning, I guess it is this morning. So Bedford and Coffee County are both in the clear from the severe weather threat this morning. There is a fairly stout, noisy thunderstorm moving through Manchester, New Union, about to move into Summitville, Tullahoma. This will be moving into Hillsborough Arnold Air Force Base area over the next 10 to 15 minutes, but nothing severe for that storm. So if you need to get some rest there in Coffee County, then go get some rest. But unfortunately, still watching this storm here in southern Giles County as it pushes off to the east because it could impact southern Moore County over the next little bit. So um, hopefully that I answered your question, Stephen, about what the timing there for Moore County. So we have about another 70 minutes before an hour, 10 minutes, 70 minutes before the storm gets to Moore County. Maybe a little bit before that, but and the rain out before might help weaken it, but it's just something I want to keep a close eye on here. So what I'm going to do, since I gave Bedford and Coffee the all clear and there's no threatening storms in Moore County at this point in time, I'm going to continue the live stream, but I will not be talking and narrating for a little bit. Just keeping a close eye on the storms here over. I was hoping I'd be able to leave this on the screen while I loop, but I don't guess I will be able to. Oh, I do. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to make this real pretty for y'all. Takes a little bit of time here. So I have Moore County listed here, not the only county that's not all clear from the three counties I cover. Bedford and Coffee are good to go. I'll put a check mark up there and a check mark up there. So, hopefully this helps out a lot. So still watching this severe thunderstorm moving into Pulaski, and I'll keep this loop going here so we can, keep an eye on the radar. I probably should have pushed it down a little bit more, but I don't want to have to redo that drawing, so I'm just going to keep it here. And if something threatening arises, like a severe thunderstorm warning for Moore County, I'll hop back on, or I'll just cut it off when I feel like the storms have weakened good, well enough where I can give the all clear for everyone. So, thank you very much for tuning in to the live stream. If you have any reports of damage, whether that be wind or hail in Bedford or Coffee County, please send it to me. And then I will continue to keep this live stream going for this severe thunderstorm that may clip Moore County over the next little bit. So that's why Moore County is not in the clear yet. And that's why I'm going to keep the live going here, even if it's just a radar loop. Noisy storms in Coffee County, Manchester, Tullahoma, but not severe. So just keep that in mind. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll hop back on if I need to for Moore County. But I'll come back on and give the all clear for Moore County once it's time. Once I feel like it's safe enough to do so, if there's not a new warning that's issued. But if just stick with me a little bit longer, my Moore County and Lynchburg friends, just in case. So, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll be back here after a while for an update. All right, everybody. I am back. Um, there is a new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued here for southern Moore County. So, if you have been keeping an eye on were tuning in earlier, I said that there would be a chance that this storm could impact extreme southern Moore County. Basically, along and south of State Route 50. And that's exactly what's happening here. So we have this severe thunderstorm that is moving out of Giles County and into Lincoln County right now. And I'll probably end up, if there's some Lincoln County people watching, then I would be happy to, um, continue my coverage into Lincoln County just for this storm, because there's really nothing else going on around here. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning: Fayetteville, Park City, along 64, Kelso, Huntland, Winchester, Cowan. Estill Springs is not in this warning. Suwanee is in this warning, but Estill Springs is not in this warning. And specifically for Moore County, we're looking at Lois and Liberty Hill are going to be under this severe thunderstorm warning in Moore County. And then some of the, houses and stuff along Timms Ford Lake there in extreme southeastern Moore County are under this severe thunderstorm warning. So there's a nice little storm going through, just came through Lois and Liberty Hill in southern Moore County, but that's quickly moving off towards Winchester right now. And here is where the worst of the storm is right now, coming through Delrose here. I never thought I'd be saying Delrose on my live stream. I've been to Delrose before, but it's just kind of funny to be talking about it now on here. It's a very small community there. But there are some really stout wind gusts here that the Huntsville radar site is picking up on. Some up to 70 mile per hour, 69 miles per hour, 67, 62. So definitely some severe wind gusts will be possible here over Lincoln County and southern Moore County, and then transitioning into Franklin County over the next little bit. So just keep that in mind here. And let's see how fast this storm is moving. Moving east at 60 miles per hour. So this one is moving a lot quicker than the ones before. Hopefully it keeps up. Let me turn that off. I'm going to do a storm track here on this severe thunderstorm as it moves off to the east at 60 miles per hour, according to the Huntsville Weather Service. So we have Park City in 11 minutes, Fayetteville 13 minutes, Kelso 17 minutes, Flintville 21 minutes, Smithland 22 minutes, Huntland 29 minutes, Belvedere 33 minutes, Winchester 38 minutes, Deckard 40 minutes, Cowan 43 minutes. For some reason, the communities in Moore County aren't showing up, but I would go with the Kelso timing for Lois there in southern Moore County. And Kelso is showing about 17 minutes. So I would say the same for Lois there in Moore County, which is why we're live right now. So again, pretty good pocket of 60 plus mile per hour wind gusts here showing up on the Huntsville radar site. And this is getting pretty close to the radar site, so we know that it's pretty accurate here, close to the surface. I've circled in blue, teal, where the strongest wind gusts are occurring right now, and this is moving off to the east at 60 miles per hour. So 431, 231 corridor from Hazel Green up through Fayetteville will be up first here. For some reason, people are having a hard time finding my live stream. I'm going to share it real quick. All right. I just shared it. So hopefully my Moore County friends are able to get in here. So this severe thunderstorm warning does not include Lynchburg proper. I know the city limits of Lynchburg is technically all of Moore County, but like downtown Lynchburg, not included in this severe thunderstorm warning. This is for along and south of State Route 50, south of Lynchburg proper. So I'm trying to get my comments to show up here so I can, if there's any questions or anything. So does anyone have any questions about the storm here that's moving in? So again, this is where the worst of the winds are. Right here, just to the southwest of Fayetteville, the 60 plus mile per hour wind gusts will be possible. That's the main threat with this little storm here along the line. And showing up really well on the Huntsville radar site, where the the blues, the baby blue color, white colors are showing up. Estill Springs is not included in this warning. Y'all are safe to go to bed if you're in Estill Springs. And I'm gonna look here again. Still showing some 60 mile per hour wind gusts here, and this would be along State Route 274 in Lincoln County. Not really aware with a lot of the roads here in Lincoln County. I know the ones along 231 and 431, but don't really know. Not too familiar with them outside of there. But this, the 60 plus mile per hour wind gusts will be coming into Fayetteville here in just a minute. But if you were in Moore County, basically, Lynchburg, Motlow, Smiths Chapel area, 5 Points, up towards the Bedford County line on Highway 82, over to 231 there. It shares the border with Lincoln County for a couple miles, where it comes in with 129 there on Chestnut Ridge. Y'all are good to go for the night. This is not a big time a threat for y'all. This is basically for along and south of Highway 50 in Moore County, including Lois and Liberty Hill. So it's not very big area here, 4 or 5 mile wide area that we're really focused in on. But thankfully this storm is moving a little bit quicker than the ones were earlier. So hopefully we can get through this pretty quickly. Manchester is clear. Estill Springs is not in the polygon. Well, I mean, not technically downtown Estill Springs, if there is really a downtown. I guess there is there. But like south of the bridge that goes over Tim's Ford is technically where the warning starts. But in downtown Estill Springs, there, the Tyson plant and the police office, they're in a police department. They're in downtown Estill Springs, I say with air quotes. is not included in the severe thunderstorm warning. Yeah, so if you are south or if you are north of Highway 50 in Lynchburg, you're good to go for the night. This severe thunderstorm will be moving through extreme southern Moore County from basically Mulberry over to Beach Hill and south, which is the Highway 50 corridor, but basically along this line here. Here's Moore County. Right here, there's the bottom tip of it. And then you have Lois right here. And then right there in that area. And then there's Lincoln and Moore County there off to the south. So not really looking at, and Liberty Hill. I forgot to mention Liberty Hill there. The big city of Liberty Hill. But let's look at the velocity data again, since we're getting such good readings off of Huntsville. This is really nice to look at. And again, still seeing some 60 to 65 mile per hour wind gusts here coming into Fayetteville right now. So you definitely want to be inside and away from windows as this storm rolls through. Kelso, you're definitely going to get in on some of the stronger wind gusts here over the next 5 to 10 minutes. It's coming through Park City probably about right now, because this radar scan is from 309, and it was just coming into Park City. So it'll be in Kelso here in maybe 5 minutes. Harriman, you're just I'll look at Harriman real quick. This is so Harriman is in the clear from the severe weather threat. I have some family over that way, and the worst of the storms are moving into Knoxville now, and they're not even severe moving into Knoxville, but just some moderate rain there in Harriman. Power is out on Neely, power out off of Depot, so there's a lot of power outages apparently in Shelbyville. Yeah, these storms probably did, a little bit of damage, maybe knock down some power lines earlier, or at least the lightning. Lightning strikes can affect power a lot. But right now we're focused in here on the severe thunderstorm warning for Lois here in extreme southern Moore County for the potential of 60 plus mile per hour wind gusts. Again, here is where the brightest colors are, where the strongest winds are located. And this is moving off to the east at 60 miles per hour. So I'll go ahead and do another storm track on the worst of the winds here, just so we can get a good idea of I don't know why that went to full screen. Okay, there we go. So this is the storm track for the worst of the winds. And this storm is moving at 60 miles per hour. We can get some times here. So Fayetteville, about 7 minutes. I really think it's on top of you right now. So probably minus 7 minutes or minus 6 minutes on that time for Fayetteville. But Huntland, 23 minutes. Flintville, 15 minutes. Kelso, 11 minutes. So I would give, Lois about 11 minutes for the worst of the winds there. I don't know why. I think Lois is so small it doesn't show up on my map here, or on the storm tracker anyway. No tornado threat for the rest of the night in in Harriman. Was the thunderstorm warning canceled? No. Oh, you're talking about yes. For Coffee County, there was a severe thunderstorm warning earlier that was canceled. Yes, but there still is one in effect here for Southern Moore County. Power's back on. That's awesome, awesome, awesome. So the worst of the winds are coming right along the 231 431 corridor in southern Fayetteville, along where the strip there, where Walmart and all those stores are, all the way up to Park City is getting in on the worst of the wind right now, as we speak. And then that'll transition towards Mulberry, Kelso, Flintville over the next 5 minutes as this storm continues to race off to the east at 60 miles an hour. And then eventually here into Liberty Hill and Lois in extreme southern Moore County over the next 15 to 20 minutes. Now, again, if you're in Shelbyville or if you're in Bedford or Coffee County, you're in the clear. And basically, this storm will, not really impact Lynchburg proper or anyone in northern Moore County. This is a southern Moore County threat here. Winchester, you were under a severe thunderstorm warning, but you still have about 30 minutes before this storm gets to you in Winchester. So we'll go back to velocity data here. Still seeing some really strong values here of a straight line winds. No tornado threat here with this, but this is just strong straight line winds here. Is there anyone in here that's in Fayetteville or just south of Fayetteville, Park City? Because there has to be some good wind gusts coming with these values that I'm seeing here on the radar. Because we're only looking, maybe at most 2,000-3,000 feet above the surface off the Huntsville radar site. So, I really do think that there's some 60 plus mile per hour wind gusts there coming through just south of downtown Fayetteville there along the strip and up into Park City. Northern Franklin County is good. Yeah, Kelso. It'll be moving into Kelso over the next 2 to 3 minutes here. It's coming to you next. But these values are pretty robust. For this time of night, with 60 plus mile per hour wind gusts being possible. And that's a good thing. I talk about all the time how the radar beam doesn't exactly line up with the direction of the storm motion, but this storm is a great example of what can happen if a storm does line up with the radar beam pretty nicely. Because we're getting a really good look on this storm coming through Lincoln County and moving into the Lois area of southern Moore County. Yeah, Roger, you probably were getting in on some of the worst of the winds just a couple seconds ago. Gonna go back to the velocity data or the reflectivity data. Um, just see what we're looking at with the rain rates or anything like that. There's a pretty heavy storm just north of Winchester, but not severe. But here, our severe storm doesn't really look that bad on from rainfall rates, but it's definitely pretty pretty rough pretty stout when you look at the velocity data. And Lynchburg will be getting some heavy rain here, probably some lightning and thunder over the next 10-15 minutes, but nothing severe in Lynchburg proper. This is for Lois in southern Moore County. We'll look at the velocity data again. Yeah, no problem, Stephen. Thank you for the report. Still seeing those 60 plus mile per hour winds here in the white teal colors, moving eastbound here at 60 miles an hour. So Kelso's getting in on the worst of it right now, and Flintville will be getting it here in the next 5-10 minutes. Maybe that might be generous. And then Lois and Liberty Hill. I really think probably Liberty Hill here in extreme southern Moore County is probably where the worst of the winds would be located at. Lois is you're still in the warning, and there's probably still some stout winds. But the worst pocket of winds that I'm seeing here from the Huntsville radar side might go just a little bit south of you there in Lois. Yes, Joshua. After the cell clears, you'll be good to go for the rest of the night. We'll look at the widespread view here. There's actually some stormage over here near Jackson, but there won't be anything severe come from that. Our atmosphere will be plenty worked over. But can kind of see how these storms have evolved over the last hour or so, and this storm really got going over Waynesboro and continued to push off to the east there. It looks like that it might be starting to lose some of its characteristics as it continues to push off to the east here, but we're still getting some hefty velocity values here directly over Kelso in Moore County, or in Lincoln County, excuse me, and moving into extreme southern Moore County. And here, I'll circle that up again. So Huntsville is continuing the severe thunderstorm warning here for Moore, Lincoln, and Franklin County. The box hasn't really updated at all. Just continues to include Lois and Liberty Hill here in southern Lincoln County. I want to see if I can go. Oh yeah, let's just see if this will work. Yeah, this is looking way back. So I might as well do this while we're waiting for the severe winds to get to southern Moore County. Um, but here is our, how the storms progress this evening. So we had the severe thunderstorm warning for Bedford and Coffee. That's a storm that's right here pushing off to the east. And then our second batch of heavy rainfall and lightning pushed across both counties. And then now we have our third round, really, of heavy rainfall and gusty winds and frequent lightning moving through Moore County now. So Lynchburg are getting in on some of the heavy rainfall right now, but I'm not seeing anything crazy for y'all there in Lynchburg. Just some heavy rainfall and lightning. A good sleeping weather there in Lynchburg proper, Chestnut Ridge. Over towards Smith Chapel with 5 points, so you get up towards Tullahoma. So just some good sleeping weather up that way. This severe thunderstorm warning is strictly for Lois and Liberty Hill here in southern Moore County. Thank you for the report page. So have reporting from Mulberry that it's getting pretty rough. And the radar beam is not shooting exactly where we would want it to to sample the winds over Mulberry. So that's probably why the values aren't showing up as great as they are around Kelso. But I've tried here in let me move this down a little bit. I'd really need to fix the spacing issue on this live stream software. But this is where the worst of the winds would be. And then here's your pocket of 60 plus mile per hour wind gusts according to the Huntsville radar site. But the strongest wind gusts are coming into Lois and Liberty Hill right now in southern Moore County. So once the heaviest part of the storm here clears that area, then we can call it a night and give the all clear for everybody in Moore County. It's still showing some 60 to 65 mile per hour values here between Kelso and Flintville along 64 right as you go up the ridge there towards Winchester from the Huntsville radar site. And that's, again, sampling around 2,000 feet in elevation. So, there's a good chance that at least some of those wind gusts are making it to the ground there in eastern Lincoln County. But we'll continue with this severe thunderstorm warning for a little bit longer here, and just ride this out on for southern Moore County. Yes, there is a severe thunderstorm warning for Moore County. Or for Franklin County. The Moore County portion of the warning is why I'm live. But yes, there is a severe thunderstorm warning for Franklin County. And it's for this pocket of 60 plus mile per hour wind gusts potentially here. Seems to be losing a little bit of its impressiveness as it continues to move off to the east. But it's kind of riding right along the 64 corridor and will go just south of Winchester and Cowan over the next little bit. But Again, if you're in downtown Lynchburg, you're good from this severe thunderstorm. Just some heavy rainfall and a lot of lightning there in downtown Lynchburg. There's still a few NWS offices that are busy. Huntsville's putting out warnings on a storm south of Florence, and then of course we have this storm here in southern Middle Tennessee that they put a warning on too. So it's still a pretty busy night around the area. But thankfully, the worst of the stormage is coming to an end, or will be coming to an end over the next 5 to 10 minutes or so here in Lincoln County or in Moore County. Does anyone have any questions for me about this storm in particular, or anything else pertaining the severe weather? I'm just trying to ride this out and not fall asleep. It's really not. The winds have died down in the storm here, from the Huntsville radar site at least, and even looking at reflectivity, it's started to die down. Besides, there's still some pockets of heavy rainfall, but it's not a pronounced blob like it was earlier. It's more spread out because, yeah, like, back here around Delrose and just west of Fayetteville, I don't know if you can see that very well or not, but, it's a nice little congealed blob, I would, for lack of a better word, at 3:30 in the morning, but it looks like it just kind of falls apart really as it moves east. So I truly do think the worst of the stormage is over in Moore County for the rest of the night. Yeah, so Huntsville just canceled the severe thunderstorm warning for Franklin, Lincoln, and Moore County. So there's no longer severe thunderstorm warning in effect. And with that being said, I am going to sign off and give the all clear for Moore County from this severe weather threat. So like I was saying, the velocity data was really starting to die down, and it did very quickly. So heavy rainfall and lightning remains for a good majority of Moore County, but the severe weather threat has come to an end. So if you're in Moore County, you can go to bed. If you're in Franklin County, you can go to bed. It's just a lot of lightning and heavy rainfall. So thank you guys for tuning in to the severe weather coverage tonight, and looks like we have more to get through later on this week, so stay tuned for updates on that tomorrow, or I guess later on today. So thank you guys for tuning in, and y'all have a